You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. Okay.
All right. Yeah. I'm here now, baby. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is the Twanee Talks Podcast. I am your host, Twanee Baby. Repping that Louisville, Kentucky. Just wanted to start it off paying homage to some Louisville legends. Underground Mafia, what up? This is Gangsta Walk. Hey.
Cruising down the block to my second home. 38th Street, where all the hustlers roam. Brothers on the corner talking that talk. No telling what you might see when a gangster walks.
I hope y'all out there grooving with your boy, hitting that gangster walk if you're from the city. And if you ain't, I can teach you. We're gonna have a good time tonight, man. Great conversation.
So we round up the money and get some brew. Cause later on tonight, we got a show to do. So I sit back, relax, and kill a 40. Halfway drunk, and my head's feeling naughty. Rhymes and rhythms running in the mind. So we pile in the car because it's almost time. Start up the vehicle.
Y'all bopping with me?
Pop in a tape.
We don't get to it, man. We got a good conversation for y'all today.
Pull up and park the car. Step out. And they treat us like stars.
Yeah.
Now as the spectators all staring hard, we step through the crowd.
It's your boy Twanee Baby. A KFY boy. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is the Twanee Talks Podcast. Once again, I am your host, Twanee Baby. But you can just call me Twanee. Today, we are talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars. That is the subject of the day. I'm going to share my thoughts, and I'm sure some of you are going to share yours. And I'm glad that I am here. You are here with me. You are here listening with me. You are here engaging with me. And let's see how this thing goes. You feel me? It's your boy, Twanee Baby. Let's get right to the nitty gritty. Oscars night. Crazy. Will Smith, Chris Rock. What happened? Chris Rock says a joke. You know, he starts his monologue out saying this and saying that. Then he pans to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith and refers to Jada Pinkett Smith as G.I. Jane. He says he hopes to see her in G.I. Jane 2. Everybody thought this was a lighthearted joke, maybe a corny joke, maybe just a hello. But back in 2016, he actually went at her, in a similar way. So they're just chilling. The joke comes out. Jada Pinkett Smith's face is kind of like, she's a bit irritated. But Will Smith is, giving a little chuckle. So I don't know if he's just, trying to laugh it off at that point. But when he glances back to Jada Pinkett Smith and realizes that she's offended, I think he was triggered. So he then walks on stage and, he's walking calmly on stage, man. And just, next thing you know.
What is the 5 fingers say to the face? What? Slap!
Smack Chris Rock live on TV for everybody to see. Wow. That's a crazy moment in history, crazy to happen at the Oscars. But let's really deep dive into why that may have happened. Back in 2016, Chris Rock said some things about Jada Pinkett Smith as well, and Will Smith for not being nominated. Jada Pinkett Smith wanted to stand by her man and boycott the Oscars. And Chris Rock threw some jokes her way. Let's fast forward to 2022, and now we have post-entanglement, I'm not sexually attracted to you, in the mood to have sex with my husband, red table talk, all these things coming out. And we get Chris Rock again in the presence of Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, and another joke flies. So my thoughts on it, did Chris Rock know that Jada Pinkett Smith had alopecia? Or was he continuing to dig and dig and dig until one of those Smiths, Jada Pinkett Smith or Will Smith, reach a breaking point? Well, I mean, I guess Will Smith did. And that's where I want to deep dive into this. Was it right? Was it wrong? I don't think it was the right thing to do. But I kind of understand where Will is coming from now. There's this thing about protecting black women, and sometimes we may do things that we're not accustomed to doing. When it comes to protecting our women, do we have examples of how to protect our women? Do we know how to protect our women when we don't have those examples given to us as children? I don't know. Recently, some people shared with me some tidbits from Will Smith's book, and he talks about not being able to protect his mother when he was a child and feeling that pain, and, feeling the pain of probably everything that's been coming out these last few years with entanglement, with Jada Pinkett Smith about, her thoughts about her marriage, her feeling like she didn't want to really get married. I mean, she's exposed a lot of information, and we didn't know too much information about them before, I think, Red Table Talk. I mean, little tidbits and things would come out, rumors would come out, but we didn't know too much. So where was Will Smith's psyche before he even walked into the Oscars? I personally think that he reached a boiling point. He reached a point to where he couldn't even take anything anymore, any small joke that comes his way. But I also think it's a responsibility of Chris Rock as the comedian to understand that too. And I know comedians, they get their cachet from pushing the narrative or pushing the button or going as far as they can, toting the line. But maybe he crossed it too much, or he was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, how do we not view Will Smith's mental health in all of this? And then he started cursing at Chris Rock and saying what he said. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. That was kind of wild to see, honestly. And it just brought a lot of things to my attention about that black man's mental health. I am somebody that's a heavy proponent of therapy. I've gone to therapy. I started probably a year or two ago. It's been helping me unpack a lot of trauma. And I think that being that Will's in the spotlight and, he's been this positive figure and he's shown this certain image, maybe, just maybe, he's not receiving any therapy or the proper amount of it. So let's really, really deep dive into the relationship or the marriage of Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith and why we think that he would react in that way. And also why Chris Rock thinks thought it was okay to make that joke at that time. And let's also think about Chris Rock and his mental health after, this happened to him live on TV, publicly embarrassed, and he kept his composure. And he was kind of shaken up or, kind of all over the place, really didn't know what to do. And I think, us as a community, black people, attacking each other like that, when we are privy to information, either personally or publicly, I think we got to be careful about that. But right now, let's take some time to hear what the people have to say out there. You know, everybody has their opinion, wants to share their thoughts on this. So let's hear from the people.
What's up, Twanee Baby? Okay, so my thoughts on this subject, he was out of pocket. Will was totally out of pocket. It's a time and a place to check someone. And him doing that, no, not the thing to do. In front of everybody and humiliating that man, no, I don't agree with it. I feel that he could have pulled him to the side and the back and had a conversation man to man, because he is a man of power and everybody is looking up to Will. So why would you do that? Embarrassing this man. That man's a comedian. That's his job to make jokes. If you can't handle it, hey, that's on you. But no, I don't agree with what Will did.
Okay.
Hey, Twan, this is Jeremy, man. First of all, congratulations on the podcast, man. Proud of you, bro. I'm definitely going to be listening in. As far as the Will Smith thing, Chris Rock, you need to watch his motherfucking mouth, man. These comedians need to quit punching down as far as they, comedy routines. And he ran his mouth a little too far. He went too far for a bad joke, and it's the kind of shit that happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's all I got to say about it, man. I'll let you.
All right.
Okay, this is Lyrics from Beyond the Shade in Louisville, Kentucky. And this is my thought on the whole Oscar situation. At the end of the day, she is battling something that she cannot control. She is also battling depression publicly. So regardless, Chris Rock was dead wrong for even commenting on something that is beyond her control. And I think Will Smith reacted in a way in which maybe he shouldn't have, but do I blame him? Absolutely not. I feel like he should have been slapped way more than he actually was slapped. And that just is what it is. But, I mean, hey, that's just my opinion. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, man, I just wanted to call in about the Will Smith, Chris Rock situation. Look, we all love Will Smith. Many of us, we love Chris Rock. But in this instance, man, Will Smith, he was in the wrong. I think he should have handled that situation behind the stage. That was a big stage he was on. He was wrong for that situation, man. You got to do better, Will. And Twanee, peace, brother.
All right. The people have spoken. Some were for it. Some were against it. Some think it was a bad look. Some think it was justified. Let's continue the conversation. Let's dive a little bit deeper. Let's also talk about how, now Will Smith is on basically, an apology tour. And, of course, he apologized at the Oscars. He apologized on his Instagram. Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world full of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will. Wow. And let's understand, people tried to intervene and people try to calm him down, like Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington. I also want to challenge us, to not look at everybody as perfect. Everybody's going through something, and sometimes you may not be able to see it, but that doesn't mean that you don't offer help and assistance where you can. And props to Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry for actually getting up and trying to calm him down. Will, that is. And props to them for actually doing that. Let's talk about our peers and having different circles of people that we can communicate our frustrations to. And again, I think it goes back to just having the proper counsel, you know, like, or the proper energy around you. And being that Will Smith was, you know, projecting himself kind of in this perfect light, I know a lot of people figured, hey, he's all right. He's doing all right. But you can kind of see and tell that the man is in pain, man. So what's next for him? I know he compared his frustrations to Richard Williams because he did win an Oscar that night. How do the Williams sisters feel about that? I mean, he embarrassed himself in front of the Academy, in front of the world, per se. And some people, like, you know, say that he perpetuated a stereotype against, you know, black people, that is, who are already viewed as hotheads, uncontrollable, quick to anger, quick to act a fool. But what are we measuring this up against? Something that was labeled on us already and we couldn't really change. We really didn't dictate anything. And, you know, in respects to how our people are represented in the majority, people get passes for doing whatever they want to do. And that's why it's so crazy to me sometimes when, you know, a man reaches a boiling point, a breaking point, where he's just, you know, ready to explode. So let's keep that in mind when we are quick to judge people's actions and don't really know what's going on. What interactions do we need to have for something like this to not happen again, especially in the public realm? And I also want to examine Jada Pinkett Smith's role in all of this, revealing information on her Red Table Talk, revealing information over the years from a marriage that was kept very, very close-knit. Information wasn't revealed as often. I think that some of this information has publicly embarrassed Will. And I asked the question, who protects black men in those times where we need protection, where we're trying to protect our woman, and it may be our woman that frustrates us? Who protects us? I don't want to take the onus away from protecting black women because black women are the most disrespected. But we need our men strong and great mental health to be able to do that. So we got to actually have these conversations and be able to work together to make sure that we don't lose our cool in situations. Sometimes we just don't have those examples at home, you know? And sometimes we just don't have enough communication between man and woman to say, hey, what does it look like for you to be protected? What does it look like for you to feel protected? We got to ask those questions, like, you know, with the women that we interact with. And if we fall short, it's okay to have a conversation and say, yo, I wasn't feeling this. Okay, cool. Let me change it up, man. Let me learn from you. I think we both and all really can learn from each other, man and women. Just an unfortunate situation, man. And I hope things don't go haywire or get out of control to where Will Smith can't handle it. I hope that brother, you know, seeks some help. I just want to share a story about how I actually met Will Smith. Crazy. I like to call these my Twanee tales. So I was in California. I was out there for a year working in production behind the scenes like I do. Working on a show in Malibu for, I think, 3 days, just a weekend day playing type gig. The crew was from London. Really, really cool crew. We shot on a show called One Strange Rock, a Nat Geo show on Netflix. And it was pretty cool. There were a lot of people walking around in the crew, just very careful. And of course, on sets, man, you have to be careful. You have to be quiet. You have to be quick to react to anything that happens. But everybody kept saying Will, and I didn't know who Will was. I was like, can I find out who this Will is? So I looked at the footage because I was processing footage and doing proxies and offloading. And it was Will Smith. So I'm like, wow. So I got a chance to talk to the audio supervisor who actually worked with him before. I talked to one of Will Smith's close friends. And throughout that weekend, I was just trying to find a way to actually just have a conversation with him. On set, he was very calm, very cool, very chill. So again, the Oscars thing was just kind of like, wow. But I mean, you know, he's a public celebrity, a public figure. So I mean, most of the time you don't get to meet or even know people personally, but once you're in, you know, the room with a person, you can kind of tell what type of person they are. He gave off good vibes. I mean, it wasn't negative at all. Everybody loved him. And I think the final day of that Malibu shoot, I wore my Philadelphia Eagles hoodie. And because I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I know I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, but hey, we don't have any pro teams. Give me a break. So I'm an Eagles fan. And that particular year, of course, we were headed to the Super Bowl. That was the Carson Wentz got hurt. He was on his way to be an MVP. We had LeGarrette Blount as our running back. And, of course, Nick Foles won us the Super Bowl that year. So when we wrapped, I said, yo, Will, who's going to win that Super Bowl? He looked over at me. He was like, you an Eagles fan. I see you repping. He was like, you from Philly? I said, nah, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. And he said, man, yeah, I love Louisville, man. Louisville's everything, man. Home of the greatest. They always show me love. And I was like, I was in the streets when they took Ali's procession through the streets of the city. I was in the streets of Louisville when, you know, Ali died and everybody was in the streets just, you know, cheering him on, man, as he transitioned. And, yeah, we shared a conversation for about 5-10 minutes. Took a flick real quick. Everybody came up to me like, yo, you know Will? I was like, nah, he just had a good personality. And, of course, he's somebody I was watching when I was younger. You know, he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mean, this is Will Smith. But he had great energy, man. So, yeah, to see him like that at the Oscars, man, it was heartbreaking for me as well. It was kind of like, wow, shocker. That's crazy. But at least my interaction with Will Smith was a good one. And I had that memory, you know? So, yeah, let's go back to the phone lines. Let's see what everybody's talking about. This is Twanee Talks Podcast. I am your host, Twanee Baby.
It's your boy, Twanee Baby.
Hey, man. Let's go.
Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to tap in on this discussion regarding the Will Smith scenario from the Oscars. And my personal opinion is that I think he did what he was supposed to do to support his woman in that particular time. And seeing the facial expressions that she had exhibited, I think that was the best thing for him to do, to show that he was in support of her, regardless of if it were staged, if it were the wrong timing, if it were his anger that was geared from a different situation, scenario. I think he did, as a husband, what he should have done to best support his wife in that time frame.
Okay.
That's my opinion, and I'll let you later. Bye.
All right.
Hey, man, it's your boy Scott55, man. You know, tapping in with my boy Twanee. And I just want to drop a little piece, you know what I'm saying, about this Will Smith, Chris Rock situation. It's kind of fishy to me. You know, I ain't even gonna cap, man. You know,
all right.
I'm looking at it, you know, I'm watching the angles, you know, a lot of this stuff looks staged. I mean, I get it, man. It's Will Smith night. You know, I understand that Jada suffers from, you know, a disease, you know what I'm saying? Prayers up for her. But I don't think it was like too, you know what I'm saying? Like too deep, you know, what Chris Rock said. You know, he's a comedian. You have to understand that. You have to respect that. And furthermore, my biggest issue is Will was laughing with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Will was laughing at the joke. Like, and then you get mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, two different clips. That's what I'm saying. Like, you go from laughing and now you want to come up here and smack them. And then we even talk about the slap. If I'm going to go smack somebody, bro, I'm going to smack somebody, bro. Like, you got to be on the ground, bro. Like, come on, bro. Will Smith, bro, like, you got that Ali and Cop. You telling me you can't slap little Marty from Madagascar and put him on the ground? If you ain't going to do it, you might as well not do it.
I mean,
you hear me? That's what I'm saying. But, you know, I get it, man. You know, to me personally, I think it's a cry for help for the Oscars, you know, because they know the views is down. You know what I'm saying? And they need that culture to make them run because we run everything, you know. But, hey, if Will Smith did that, you know, for real, all I'm gonna say is, hey man, you better come harder, because if that would have been somebody else, bro, they beat your ass. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. But you know, shout out to Chris Rock. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jada. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Scott 55, man. Y'all check me out. You know what I'm saying? Free agent. It is what it is. Twanee Talks. Shout out to my boy.
Hey man, the people are speaking out there, man, and we're just gonna continue the conversation with some final thoughts here. What to keep in mind, what I think everybody should keep in mind. I think that again, like, was it wrong for him to smack Will Smith, that is, to smack Chris Rock? Yeah. But do I understand why he did it? I do. And I think that it's deeper than just some surface, I can't take a joke thing. I think it has to do with mental health and what's going on with him and how he feels about himself and how he feels about things that are going on in his life, his business being put out on the street, people responding to him and making fun of him. And I think it has to do with, you know, a couple of things that he actually mentions in his book. In his book, he talks about how he couldn't protect his mother or how he felt about that for not protecting his mother. Also, I think on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion, HBO Max, the actress that played the first Aunt Viv, and how she felt that she wasn't protected when certain things were going on with the show. Maybe that affected Will as well. Maybe he has, you know, trying to be a good father, husband, public figure. Again, he's struggling to try to figure all of that out and feeling as if now he's vulnerable. And of course, man, he projected this perfect kind of image. We are respecting him for it. Now we get mad because he has one incident. And it so happened to be a pretty big one, but I mean, look at his career for the most part. It's been kind of smooth. We're either going to take L's in public or take L's privately, and sometimes we can't choose. So understanding his hardships and trying to navigate through the entertainment world and maybe keep his business out of his business, keeping his personal business to himself and his family and away from his business so that it won't affect his business. We got to kind of understand, like, that's a lot. He just reached a boiling point, and Chris Rock so happened to be the person that ignited him. Chris Rock was the straw that broke the camel's back. And what can we say about that? We just need to look at public figures and celebrities as people too, and not think that they're okay or they don't need help in certain areas, and because they're wealthy or have a huge public status that we shouldn't offer assistance to them either. But I think over the years you can kind of see and picture and what has been going on with Will Smith's breakdown. And it was just sad to see. I mean, the August Alsina situation, Tupac situation, having his business in the public realm now because his wife has the Red Table Talk, and she's just talking and exposing information, and it sells, right? It gains viewership. And protect black women. Yes, we must do that. And we also must do this. We also must protect black men so that we can protect black women better than we have. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that these things happen, and he reached a boiling point, and I'm glad that we can actually have this discussion today. I feel like it's deeper, and we can highlight a lot of things that we need to talk about within our communities. And once again, this is Twanee Talks Podcast. I'm your host, Twanee Baby.
It's your boy, Twanee Baby.
We're going to end it off with some final thoughts from some other callers. And yeah, man, I appreciate y'all coming out and rocking with your boy.
Hey, this is Patricia. Just calling in to give my thoughts and perspective on the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock incident. So I think it's multiple layers, and I want to preface this by saying I'm not married, so I can't give the opinion on what a man does in protection of his wife, what a woman does in protection of her husband. However, I think we downplay that celebrities are still people. I know in the realm of comedy, you've heard, everything is up for grabs. Don't be so sensitive. But humans are humans, no matter what your financial or celebrity status is. I think we have all watched for years Jada and Will being the center of attention and not in the most positive light.
Yep.
And I think what we saw on display at the Oscars was Will having enough. Unfortunately, Chris Rock was the straw that broke the camel's back, in addition to some of his historical references to Jada at the Oscars, I think 2016. And so the whole notion of protect Black women, we are often the most discussed in a degrading aspect when it comes to women in general. So there's that element of being irritated that of all the people in the audience, why Jada? It's unknown whether he knew at the time that she suffered from alopecia and that is why she rocked the bald head. There's also discussion of, we'll laugh. But you can obviously see when her demeanor changed, which is very obvious in her face, it was a trigger for him. So while I think it could have been handled in a different way, in a different light, we have to recognize that mental health issues are very much real and that we often as a Black community don't seek the proper help, the proper nourishment to get us in a healthy mental and emotional space. So everything from August to the jokes of Tupac, and we downplay how hurtful social media can be. People base their lives on social media. It is a facade that people feel this is the echelon of who I should be and what I should look like. And when you fall short, we internalize it, and we.
And she mentioned social media and how we project our lives and how it's becoming a disease for people to want this attention, to project that we're so perfect. Yeah, man. Let's keep listening.
End up doing things to make up for that, and so wherever Will and his family is in his heart of what happened. Where Chris Rock, I think it is admirable that both men took accountability. I think it's even more admirable that Chris didn't press charges. I hate that it happened on that type of stage because unfortunately Black people do not get the grace of making a mistake independently. We make a mistake and it is attributed to the whole culture of Black people.
And that's true too. We can't make mistakes publicly. Black people in general can't make a mistake. Everybody else can, and there's a history of different people that attended the Oscars, and you can do your own research, but let's think about that. When it comes to us, if we mess up one time, we slip up one time, it's over. Or people want to cancel us. I think that's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Let's finish.
But whatever is triggering and bothering, I do hope that we'll get that support. And I'll always say protect Black women, but protect Black men. And I never want to see two Black men of status of any kind going at each other such a public display. So was he wrong for the assault? Absolutely. But can I understand the frustration and the triggers behind it? Absolutely. This was a no-win situation on both sides.
Hey, man. Once again, this is the Twanee Talks Podcast. I am your host, Twanee Baby, and we are talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock Oscars. That was some great information right there. I appreciate that. We need to be considerate about all the things that I mentioned in the podcast today. Let's really, really think about some things that are triggering to people, some things that may contribute to people's actions, some things that will assist people in need, even if they don't look like they need help. And also, Chris Rock, let's make sure that brother's okay too, because he was embarrassed on TV. And that's a lot to process. So let's make sure that brother is okay. Once again, this is the Twanee Talks Podcast. I'm your host, Twanee Baby. We're talking about the Will Smith, Chris Rock incident. Let's keep in mind and understand that things are really deeper than just surface level. Sometimes people need assistance, and we have to point that out. And also, let's not feed into the negativity, even if things are open for people to throw a joke or to say something mean or to say a sly comment. Let's make sure that we represent ourselves properly. Let's pray for Will Smith and hope that he seeks the help that he needs. Let's also pray for Chris Rock, and hopefully he's healing from the situation and also learns from, you know, his responsibility as a comedian. Maybe sometimes if you're privy to certain information, just don't go that way. But his mental health matters as well. Will Smith's mental health matters as well. Jada as well. It is a time for healing, but let's be responsible in what we do as well. All right, let's hear another caller. Appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Yeah.
Hey, this is Thomasina calling in from the DMV. So my thoughts on the situation, I feel like I'm the opposite of everyone else. Like, don't get me wrong. Okay, Chris Rock made a joke. He, hurt Jada's feelings, and Will was standing up for his wife, yada, yada, yada. But, like, let's be for real here. Like, the stance that I took it on was, like, Will was basically an embarrassment to the black community. Here's why I feel that way.
Okay.
I feel that way because the world already thinks that we're unstable, crazy, violent, just can't get our shit together. And he basically proved that on national TV to the world. So, no, he lost some cool points with me. Like, I don't even look at him the same. I can't even respect him the same. And then he had the audacity to get his award and try to use the movie that he was in to justify why he hit this man on stage.
King Richard.
And if you saw the Williams sisters, they looked disgusted. But that's just beside the point.
Okay.
All those tears, all of that was all cat. I mean, let's be honest. He did just win the award for Best Actor. But yeah, that's all I got. I'ma holler at y'all.
Well, all right. Perpetuating the stereotype of us being violent. Again, let's examine what that is up against. It's up against something that was, a label that was placed on us, those stereotypes that was placed on us. So if we believe in that Will perpetuated a stereotype, that means we believe in the stereotypes that were placed on us. I don't agree with that, but I appreciate you, calling in and sharing your thoughts. And this, open discussion for us to think and talk about some things. Once again, we're talking about the Will Smith, Chris Rock incident. And, man, just a lot to digest, a lot of different parts moving forward. What do we need to do? How do we need to heal? Let us put our differences aside and actually work on healing our minds so that we can respond in the best ways possible to anything that comes against us. And I'm speaking to myself as well. It's a constant battle every day to be a better man than I was. And I know Will Smith wants to be a better man. I know Chris Rock wants to be a better man. I know Jada Pinkett Smith, although some don't believe, wants to be a better woman. And when is the right time to protect black women? Who says we can't do it in the way that Will did it? Who says we can't do it in a different way? But I think we have to actually have these conversations with the black women who feel like that may be okay to, show protection in that way. We don't know. But once again, this is the Twanee Talks Podcast. I appreciate y'all checking in with me. I am your host, Twanee Baby. And I got a trip to Vegas, so I'm going to play y'all something that I used to be an artist, here and there. I did a little music. Shout out to my dog Pyro. He's in Vegas right now. Dope producer, dope artist, dope writer. We did a record called The Show, Down to the Flow. And yeah, hope y'all enjoy this record. Once again, Twanee Talks Podcast. I'm your host, Twanee Baby. It's your boy, Twanee Baby. And I'll see y'all next time, I'll see y'all next time. I'll see y'all next time.
I'm feeling her body's luring me. She got the crabby acting and she's a sight to see. This lights, camera, action, she the KFY boy. She get it going, past the patrol man. Money in my hand, use it as a fan to cool down. DJ play her song so that she can act the fool now.
now. She got all her girls around, they dancing with their titties out the way they shake it in the club. They'll never get a full crowd. And now I'm in the mood for a private session. Take me to the bag, sit me down, teach me a lesson. Twerk that thing on me until I tell you that's enough. You know they always show me love when I'm up in the club. Give her the show, she throwing it back, and then I'm throwing them stacks. She drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it, she dropping it go, high as she can, straight to the top. She working it with no hands. She drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it, she drop it. It's so amazing, all these pretty ladies know just how to shake it in the club. Glad I can make it, it's a celebration, so I'm just gonna hold my bottles up. Tattoo, fat back, body of a goddess. She's smiling at my compliments, but I'm just being honest. Doing what she gotta do to pay her way through college. Heart of a champion, mind for the knowledge. So shake it for me, baby, make it clap and let your back. Then got stacks on top of stacks, so ain't no telling what I'm gon' spend. Keep giving me lap dances for the club. Girl, you know I'm gon' always show you love when I'm up in the club. Give her the show, she throwing it back, and then I'm throwing them stacks. She drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it, she watching it go, high as she can, straight to the top. She working it with no hands. She drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it, she drop it. She dropped it for me proper and worked it with no hands. I gotta thank her mama if you know just what I'm saying. Got me feeling when I watch her, and I don't give a damn. The way she put it on me, I don't think you understand. Man, she looking so good, I wanna take her home. Money's flying in the air and she won't leave me alone. And her hands keep moving up and down my jeans. It's so erotic, hypnotic, like it's supposed to be. I love the way she rubs on me, as freaky as she wanna be, whispering and kissing me, making sure that I'll never leave. So every time I come, they know what's up. They always gonna show a nigga love when I'm up in the club. Give her the show, she throwing it back, and then I'm throwing them stacks. She drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it, I'm watching it go, high as she can, straight to the top. She working it with no hands. She drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it down to the floor, she drop it, she drop it, 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 drop it. It's your boy Twanee Baby. A KFY boy. It's your boy Twanee Baby. It's your boy Twanee Baby. A KFY boy.